is Binduprava Sahu and my topic of discussion is cell biology. In this session I am going to teach you cell biology. So let us first see the overview of what I am going to teach you in this session. First we will know what is cell and its significance. In the next we are going to teach what is the discovery of cell. In this chapter we will learn how cells are discovered, how cells are formed, and what is the evolution of cell, who are the scientists who discovered the cells. Then we will learn about the cell theory. After the discovery of cells, there are some scientists who gave the cells theory. So we were going to teach that. Then we will learn about the different types of cell. After that, we will learn about the difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. What is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? First we will learn what is a prokaryotic cell, then what is eukaryotic cell, then what is the difference between them. Next, we will learn about what is the various components of cell and their function. So, various cell structure and its function. Then we will learn about the cell signaling. Then cell cycle, cell division, then checkpoints. Now let's start with cell and its significance. So what is a cell? The cell is known as the basic structural and functional unit of life. So why it is called the unit of life? Let us first discuss. So if an organism has cell, it is called as living organism. All living organisms have cells. So what are the significance of living cells? They are capable of independent existence. They can live independently. They can carry out their all metabolic processes by themselves. So an organism which has life has cell. Clear? So we can say that the living organisms are capable of independent existence. They can exist independently, like a cell of amoeba. Amoeba is an unicellular organism. What is unicellular organism? The organism which is made up of only a single cell is called as unicellular organism. Let us consider the structure of an amoeba. This is an amoebatic cell, amoeba cell. It is an unicellular organism. So all the life activities of amoeba are carried out within this single cell. It doesn't need any other cell to carry out its activities. It has only a single cell. It exists in a single cell as a single cell organism. So all the life activities like ingestion, egestion, everything is carried out within the cell with the help of this single cell. Now, then considering the significance of cell, so first significance is the life. It is the unit of life. Means if a cell, if an organism has cell, or if an organism consists of only one cell, it has life. So according to life, according to the number of cells, organisms are of two types: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So we have already discussed unicellular organism consists of only one cell, and multicellular organism consists of two or more cells. The best example is amoeba. Clear? And multicellular organism are us, every living organism, also high level organisms like your fungus or human beings, animals, all are made up of, all are multicellular organisms. Now, why it is called as the structural unit? Now I will discuss about why it is called as structural unit. So consider an example. In a for a house to be built, we need walls, we need roof, we need various furnitures, we need various components. Clear? So to make up a cell, so to make up an organism, we need various components. The first component is the cell. That's why it is called as the basic structural unit. So various cell make tissue, then various tissue, different tissue together form tissue system. Then various tissue system form organ systems, organs. Then various organ form organ system. Then various organ system form the organism. Now come to the before example, that is the example of a house. If there are no bricks, then there are no walls, no roofs. If we will put our furnitures in a house or in a plot where there is no roof or no walls, what will happen to it? Can we call it as a home? No. So if an organism doesn't have these structures, we cannot call it as an organism. To make up an organism, the first thing that we need is cell. The cell is the brick. We can consider this as the brick of a house. The house is the organism and cell is the brick. So with the help of this cell, we can form tissues are formed, then tissue form the tissue system, then organs, then organ system, and then finally the organism. Now, why it is called the functional unit? So, we have already discussed that living organisms are capable of independent existence. So, what do we mean by independent existence? That the organism is carrying out every life activities within that cell or with the help of the cells that it contains. I will call it as functional unit. Functional unit means it can carry various life activities, itself. So a single cell is capable of carrying out various life activities itself. That's why it is called as the functional unit of life. Clear? Let's come to the second point, that is discovery of cell. So cell was first discovered in the year of 1665 by the scientist Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke first discovered cell in 1665. So he discovered the cell in a single piece of cork. He discovered the cork cells. He discovered cell in a piece of cork and coined the term cell. So who coined the term cell? Robert Hooke coined the term cell. So actually cell comes from a Latin word that is cellula. Cellula. The cellula means small compartment. So we can say that what is the cell? Cell is a small compartment which is the structural and functional unit of life. So actually Robert Hooke discovered a dead cell. Why? Because a cork cell is a dead cell and he is known as the discoverer of cell wall. He actually observed the dead cell of cork, that is only the cell wall part, it without any cytoplasmic content. Cell wall, because cork cell was dead cell without any cytoplasmic content. So who discovered living cell? This living cell was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. He discovered the cell, the living cells with the help of his microscope and named them as animalcules. What do you mean by animalcules? Animalcule means little animals or little organisms. So Robert who discovered dead cell, or he only saw the cell wall, while Anton van Leeuwenhoek discovered the living cell and named them as animalcules, which means as little animals or little organisms. Come to the third point of my content, that is cell theory. Who discovered cell theory? There are two scientists, one is botanist and one is zoologist. They both in the year 1839 discovered cell theory or coined cell theory or cell doctrine. It is also called as cell doctrine. Who are the scientists? The first one is Claydon, who was a German botanist, and Swan, who was a British zoologist. Together coined cell theory in 1839 or cell doctrine in 1839. So what the cell theory tells? Cell theory tells that all living organisms are made up of cells, and cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Clear? Now, in the year 1855, another scientist, Rudolf Virchow, he proposed an extension of cell theory, extended the cell theory which was given by Claydon and Swan. Extension of cell theory. So according to Rudolf Virchow, what he said, now he gave a phrase, omnis cellulae. Clear? So what does it mean? It means that all living cells arise from pre-existing cell. Pre-existing cell means that there is already a cell, and with the time of evolution, more cells have arisen. So, omnicellular cellular, it is an important phrase which was given by Rudolf Virchow, which means that all living cells arise from pre-existing cell. So, combining both cell theory, what was given by Claydon and Swan, and what was given by Rudolf Virchow, various new scientists have come up with a new modern cell theory which includes various points. So, let us discuss that. So, what does the main cell theory, a modern cell theory, the first one is the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life, and second one, all living organisms are made up of one or more cells, which we already know. The organisms which consist of one cell are known as unicellular organism, and the organisms which consist of more cells, two or more cells, are known as multicellular organism. Then come to the third point. Which was given by our scientist Rudolf Virchow, that all cells arise from pre-existing cells by the process of cell division. By the process of how the cells are formed, by the process of new cells are formed by the process of cell division. The cell division chapter is another topic which we will discuss in next videos. Then number 4 point, that energy flow occurs within the cell, within cells. So, flow of energy occurs within the cell. Next, come to the 5th point, that cell contains hereditary information that passes from one generation to another. So, what is the hereditary information? We all know that the hereditary information is DNA, or in some retroviruses it is RNA. So, cell contains the hereditary information, and the hereditary information passes from one generation to the next generation, or from one cell to the other cells. Now come to the 6 points, that overall the basic structure of a cell, that is considering the physical or chemical structure, are almost same. So all cells have almost basic chemical nature. Clear? This much tells the modern cell theory. Next, our next point of discussion is types of cells. So, cells vary greatly in their shape, size, location, and function. We will discuss about the location and function of different types of cell in our point cell structure and function. So now consider shape and size. So considering the shape, the cells vary. The cells are of different types, like columnar cells, cuboidal cells, next irregular cells, polygonal, hexagonal, etc. Likewise, the cells can vary in shape. Similarly, considering the size, the cell size vary from smaller to larger. So, the smallest organism, which is a unicellular organism, is the mycoplasma. The mycoplasma cell is the smallest cell. The length varies from 0.1 to 0.3 micrometer. Considering a normal bacterial cell, the length varies from 3 to 5 micrometer. Then the single isolated cell is the egg cell of ostrich. Now, considering the cells of multicellular organism, the longest cell is the cell of neuron, whose length varies from about 90 centimeter to 100 centimeter. Clear? Now, what is the largest cell? The largest cell is the egg cell of female. What is the egg cell of female? That is the ovum, which has about 0.1 millimeter diameter. Clear? Now, when we consider the blood cells, RBCs vary in their length about 6 to 7 micrometer. So this much for today's video. In the next video, we will discuss about the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Thank you. If you like our video, then give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. Select all so that you can get all the updates.